I would, in fact, make sure that we immediately surge to the border. All those people are seeking asylum. They deserve to be heard. That's who we are. We're a nation that says if you want to flee and you're fleeing oppression, you should come.
What if I told you that your government was letting in illegal people in your country in order to suppress your vote? What if I told you that? Would you believe me? Why would the government do something like that? Oh, that's wild. That's crazy. Why would they do that? They doing it. Okay. They did it. They done it. They're doing it again. This ain't the first time it happened. Okay. Study your history. They've been letting illegals come in for a long time. Why? Because they never do anything for anybody. The Democrats never have great policies. They never have had great policies. They know they lose black support. Okay, they lose all sorts of support every single election. So they have to rob, kill, steal, and destroy. That's what they do. This is the only thing they do. I want you to take a listen to Mike Johnson getting President Trump's support for some reason, but he's going to present a new bill for election integrity. Not that it isn't already illegal to vote in the United States if you're a non-citizen. I mean, that's already a fact, but we need to mandate it because they're going to go to social services and get registered to vote while they're getting free food stamps. That's crazy.
The speaker is required to fly around the country and be with all of our candidates and incumbents all around. I've been to, I think, 23 states now in the last several weeks, and everywhere we go, one of the first questions that people ask about is this issue of election integrity. The border is the #1 issue in America. There's never been a political issue that scored so high in the polls as a matter of concern. And it doesn't matter where anyone lives, because as we say now, every state is a border state. They're deeply concerned about that. And election integrity is tied to the lack of border security. President Biden has created a catastrophe, and he did it by design. We documented 64 specific executive actions that he took from the day he walked into the Oval Office and that his agencies took under Secretary Mayorkas to open the border wide, to invite everybody from around the world to come here, including hardened criminals and dangerous persons. And the result, we all know. The official number is 9 million encounters at the southern border alone, just since Joe Biden took office. But the actual number is probably close to 16 million illegals who have come into the country because they desired it. They designed it. They engineered it to be that way. His actions did that. He ended the Remain in Mexico policy under President Trump's administration. They reinstated catch and release that had been practiced under the Obama administration. They stopped building the wall. They did everything exactly the opposite of what this president had achieved. And that's why we have this catastrophe. It has all sorts of terrible effects on the American people. We know that fentanyl is the leading cause of death for Americans age 18 to 49. We know that violent crimes are being committed on innocent Americans now. Laken Riley and many others who are now losing their lives because these dangerous people are in our country, and it must stop. And the American people are demanding that it does. And it doesn't matter which political party that any American is in, they have the same desire. They want safety and security, and we can supply that. But among the problems that flows from this open border catastrophe is directly related to this threat to our election integrity. Why is that? You need to understand something really important about federal law. Since 1993, the National Voter Registration Act, we call it the Motor Voter Law, allows people to sign up to vote when they get a driver's license. If an individual only asserts or simply states that they are a citizen, they don't have to prove it. They can register that person to vote in a federal election. And you see, states are currently prohibited. Believe it or not, the states are prohibited from asking someone to prove that they're a citizen. The federal voter registration form just has a check-a-box, and if you do that, you're good. The states can't allow it. Well, we think that's a serious problem. And so what we're going to do is the House Republicans are introducing a bill that will require proof of citizenship to vote. It seems like common sense. I'm sure all of us would agree. We only want U.S. citizens to vote in U.S. elections. But there are some Democrats who don't want to do that. We believe that one of their designs, one of the reasons for this open border, which everybody asks all around the country, why would they do this? Why would they allow all this chaos? Why the violence? Because they want to turn these people into voters. Right now, the administration is encouraging illegals to go to their local welfare office to sign up for benefits. Well, guess what? When you go to a welfare office, they also ask you if you would like to register to vote. And so many people, we think, are going to do that. And you know what? The numbers are so high. There's so many millions of illegals in the country that if only 1 out of 100 voted, they would cast potentially hundreds of thousands of votes in the election. That could turn an election. This could be a tight election in our congressional races around the country. It could, if there are enough votes, affect the presidential election. And so that's why House Republicans are going to act. I'm going to announce to you today, here standing alongside President Trump, that we will do everything within our power to ensure that we do have free and fair elections in this country. If we don't have that in a constitutional republic, we have nothing. It's the basis of who we are as a nation, and we owe that to the American people. And so what we're going to do is introduce legislation to require that every single person who registers to vote in a federal election must prove that they're an American citizen first. They have to prove it. That will be a new part of the federal law, and a very important one. Our bill will establish new safeguards. It'll put us on par, by the way, with virtually every other democracy around the world that also prohibits non-citizen voting. And this is a critical thing for us to do at a very critical time. Our bill also will require states to remove non-citizens from their existing voter rolls. That's a big problem too. And it will provide access to databases from the Department of Homeland Security and the Social Security Administration to help the states administer this. As the entity that is responsible for regulating federal elections, Congress has this responsibility. We cannot wait for widespread fraud to occur, especially when the threat of fraud is growing with every single illegal immigrant that crosses that border. This is something most Americans are deeply concerned about. The latest poll says 78% of the Americans who are polled say that preventing illegal immigrants from voting in our elections is a top priority. In every place I've gone around the country, whether it's out west, Midwest, Long Island, Deep South, it doesn't matter. Everybody is concerned about this. We have a job to do. Here's what you need to look for, and I'll turn it back to the president. When we put this bill on the floor, you're going to see a record vote by Republicans and Democrats. You'll see that the Republicans stand for election integrity. And then we'll be able to ask this very important question of the Democrats. They're going to have to go on record. Do you believe that Americans and Americans alone should be the ones who vote in American elections? We're about to find out their answer. And I think that will be a very interesting one for everybody to see.
So, yeah, that's where we are. We're begging for our country back. We're begging to be able to cast our votes for Donald Trump. Okay, it's coming at a very high cost with all the court cases, the legal fees, and all that. It's not enough that we got to beg for our vote. We got to, the laws that are already in place, we have to beg to, enforce them. All right. But it sounds like Trump is playing politics with Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson is on the chopping block. He's just not a very effective House Speaker. He's pushing for more funding in the Ukraine, and he's done some pretty reckless things in the last month or so. Marjorie Taylor Greene is like on his neck, and she should be. But it looks like Trump's playing a little bit of politics here and saying, what can you do about election integrity here, House Speaker? Use your power as a House Speaker. Let's get a bill drafted here. Let's get something out on the floor for election integrity, because that is actually the most important thing. I think that's like you said, that's the main issue. I could see that being the main issue everywhere, in every state. Okay. Nobody wants to see illegals just run over top of their cities. Even in Chicago, okay, out of all the things that happen in Chicago, out of all the gun violence and all the crime, all these years, the illegals are the ones that really struck a chord with the people of Chicago. That's how powerful the migrant crisis is. That's how crazy it's gotten. Okay. That the people of Chicago is like, that's it. Now you mess with, you're taking our resources, because that just tells you exactly what they're doing with the resources. They're coming in, getting free money, welfare, and then they're going to try to get them to register to vote while they're there getting free money. It's such a kick in the face to the American people. I don't know what's going to happen if Trump doesn't get in office. Like, I really don't know. It's not going to be good. That's all I know. I hope that everyone stays peaceful. I'm hoping that we do that, but I don't know, man. I just don't know what's going to happen if Trump doesn't get in office. It's going to be pretty crazy. With the cost of everything is going to go way, 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 way up. It's going to probably triple. If the Democrats stay in power, everything's going to cost a lot of money. There will be a lot of businesses shutting down. If Joe Biden gets another 4 years, it's not going to look good. It's not, this country is going to be unrecognizable. It's already pretty bad. I was seeing a lot of businesses close down, and it's awful, man. You got illegal people everywhere. Like, we go out to the stores here and it's like, they're all over the place. The shelves are getting empty. Like, they're having a hard time keeping things on the shelves because how do you compete with people coming in your country illegally, getting free resources, free money, free food? Okay, free homes. They get free everything, free phones. But ultimately, guys, it's not free. All right, ultimately, it's just not free. It's coming from the taxpayer. Looks like Mike Johnson is in a position where he has to do something strong. So, some of these guys, man, in our Congress and in our House speakership, they lack the courage, man, and they have to be pushed into the corner in order to make boss moves. All right, they will never do this on their own. And it's very hard to believe that some men are actually like that they get in a position of power and they lack the courage to do what should be pretty easy for the average strong man to do. It would be pretty easy for me to put my foot down if I got in there and, block funding for Ukraine. I wouldn't care. I mean, to me, I would put my life on the line for it. I really would. I would put my life on the line, and I would risk my life because I understand, how bad people are struggling. I get it, and that's something that it would take a compassionate person to do. And I think that, man, it seems like we get started off really well, but then, we've got to push these guys in the corner and twist their arms, and it's like, make them do the right thing. It should never be like that, guys. Your Congress shouldn't look anything like it does right now on the conservative side. It shouldn't look anything like this. It should be very strong men running it. And if I'm telling you, the United States could really run like profoundly excellent if we had stronger men in Congress, stronger men in the speakership, stronger men as government officials. It could run amazing. All right. The globalists and the elites, they would have no chance of infiltrating our systems ever. But we need strong men. I'm hoping for the best. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, and please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you. This has been Yup. I said it.